What's going on, everybody? Oh, hi. Oh, boy. Oh, man. What's going on? Who's in here? Look at y'all. I see Sanket. I see Amarendra and Abraham. Oh, well, welcome to the live stream, guys. What's going? Gotta make sure that I mute that. Got the music playing in my ears. Gotta lower that. And yeah, today's your devlog day. You got me doing the devlog. Look at that. You know. Yeah, doing the devlog today. And you guys are on the devlog. So yeah. Yeah, so I mean we're gonna be talking about being employed as a developer. I mean, if you guys have any questions about that, then feel free to ask them. If you guys have questions about other stuff, you can ask that stuff too. We're just here to hang out. You know how these live streams have been going. Just, good old your buddy Kyle. Just your buddy Kilo Loco just chilling, talking to y'all, having a good old time, answering some questions, trying to be helpful. I mean, damn, right out the gate, Sanket has like a question. He's like, what questions are generally asked in a phone interview? And I'm like, damn, didn't even say hi? It's kind of rude. No, I'm just joking. Well, first of all, are you even ready to start getting phone interviews? Have you been applying? Because if you ain't applying, then what? Oh, stupid dogs. If you ain't applying, then what the hell? Why are you even asking, right? And my general guess is that you haven't been applying, which is why you don't know which questions are generally asked in a phone interview. Now, the phone interview is going to be it's going to range, The questions that they ask are going to range just depending on the company that you're going to be looking for. Now, I haven't personally gone out for an interview in a long time, so I don't really remember all the different questions, but I'll let you know some of the ones that I know that they're probably going to ask. Now, one of the ones that they're probably going to ask are what is your flow for working on a project like? And what I mean by that is they're going to ask you like what's your workflow like? Like, how do you track your progress? How do you make sure that you accomplish things? Which tools do you currently use to maximize your workflow? And I remember that one because I didn't understand the question when they asked me that. So knowing, being able to answer a question like what kind of tools that you use and, how you track your progress is something that they might ask. And you might want to talk to them about, do you use, something like Trello? Are you used to Kanban? Things like that. Do you have, a goals board and things like that? Another thing that they might ask are you familiar with, source control? So they might ask if you're familiar with source control, and you should be familiar with, using Git from the command line, not using a GUI. You need to be familiar with using Git from the command line. So know that. And then another one that they might ask you is pretty much, do you play well with others? Are you a team player, or are you kind of just to yourself? How do you interact with your team? Are you good at explaining things? Are you good at helping other people with stuff? Because they want somebody that's going to work well on a team. Which I don't like. I don't generally like working on a team, but because I feel like sometimes teammates can hold you back. So that's just that's how I feel. But yeah, they want to hear that you like working on a team and that you work better as a teammate, So those are some of the things that you're probably going to get asked. Amarenda says, hi, was about to sleep, then I saw this. Yep. You know how I like to keep you guys up. He says, first thing is to read the full language guide. Well, that's not really answering the question, but okay. If you've worked in a large enterprise, how do you deal with distractions in the environment? Ooh, I like this question. Good job, Abraham. Coming through, homie. So how do you deal with distractions in an environment? The best way would be, well, one way that you could do it is make sure that you have headphones. But you don't want these headphones, right? You don't want these ones because these ones are too small. And, unless they can see them in your ear, you don't want those ones. You want these ones. You want something a little bit bigger that goes over your head that pretty much says, I'm listening to my music and working. GTFO, right? Leave me alone. Let me work. Let me do my job. That's why I came here, right? So I could do my job and get paid. So headphones is a great way to do it. I seen a picture of a guy with a thing on his back. He taped a paper to his back, and he said, "Do not disturb unless an emergency" or something like that. You could do that. But yeah, so you're gonna get distracted, and that's one of the things about working inside of an office is that you have several people asking you and talking to you about stuff that's like super unnecessary and like not even productive. So another way to handle that would be to keep the conversations extremely short, one-word answers. If it's not going to really make a difference, especially if they're not even going to listen to what you have to say anyway. One-word answers. Just tell them whatever they need to hear so that you can go back to work and get your work done, right? So yeah. Another way to be productive in large environments is also you might want to have like a list of things that you want to accomplish today, and then have that list out in the open so that everybody can see like what you're working on. Like if you feel comfortable sharing that information on the stuff that you plan on accomplishing, and if you put that list out in the open, people can kind of see how you're progressing throughout the day. It gives you a little bit more. It shows that you're working towards a goal. It shows that you have so many things to do, and then it also acts as like accountability because other people are looking at the stuff that you say you're gonna do today, and then it's gonna be like, oh hey, you didn't finish number 3. What happened there? So then it's gonna like really make you want to get to finishing all your goals. So those are a couple of ways that might help. What's going on, James? Hey from London says, don't mug yourself. Abraham also wanted to know, how do you deal with miscommunication from PMs, project managers, I'm guessing? Miscommunication. Okay, so this is something that you're always going to have to deal with as a developer. There's always going to be some level of miscommunication, and trust me, I deal with it too. There's always a lot of miscommunication, and it ends up making you go back and work on the same exact thing that you were working on, except you have to redo it in a different way because nobody wanted to communicate. And one way to do it would be to take notes while you're having that conversation or that meeting or whatever. And then at the end of that meeting, what you do is you read back what you understood, and you make sure that if there's any clarification that needs to be added, that it gets covered when you do a review of your notes. You could also, depending on what kind of situation you're in, you could also voice record if the person feels comfortable allowing you to voice record them. You voice record the conversation this way, when they say, oh no, I wanted it like this, and you have like a record to say, hey, look, this is what you asked of me. I have proof right here. And you could do this with, voice recording, or if you're covering all your progress in emails, you could do it that way. But yeah, so just keeping a record of all that stuff will help lower miscommunication, or at least show, and if there is miscommunication, you can show like, look, in my notes it says right here, this is what we went through, and this is what we talked about, and this is what we agreed on. So yeah, that's one way to do it. Also, make sure that you voice your opinions. Like when you're talking about it, make sure that you're also being vocal about the way that you understand it, so that they can really, understand what you understand, if that makes sense. Had a question. Yes, Ankit. What's going on, Taylor? Is it enough to check host is SSL pinning? What? Is it enough to check host in SSL pinning? I don't even know what that is. I don't do too much crazy stuff with the SSL. Do you guys get snow at all out there in Cali? Well, the place that I'm trying to move to, the city that I'm trying to move to, Yucaipa, California, is supposed to get a little bit of snow. But yeah, we get snow here. It's usually in higher altitudes, but it's generally really hot over here most of the time. Like we average like 75 and up, but like today is like, I don't know, like 64 degrees and everybody's like freezing. We all have Eskimo jackets because we're not used to being cold. So, yeah, 64 degrees is like freezing to us. But yeah. What's going on, Samuel? I feel uneasy when someone is shoulder surfing my screen. I mean, you can just make them feel like really uncomfortable and put something like really inappropriate on the screen and just make them feel like, what is happening right now? I mean, you could do that, or you could just voice your opinion. I don't know. I would say make them feel uncomfortable because that's a more fun way to do it. James, as soon as I got comfortable with Swift/iOS, I started learning Sketch 3. Just wanted to develop some icons. Do I continue with Sketch 3 until I become an expert at it, or focus on Swift/iOS? Now, that really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to be a developer, or are you trying to be a designer? Because that's pretty much going to answer your question. If you want to be a developer, I think you kind of have to write code. If you want to be a designer, then keep working with Sketch 3. Pretty simple, straightforward. Just depends on what you want. Hello, buddy from Russia. Oh, Ozo. I'm going to just call you Ozo. What is making you happy in life? My family is making me happy in life. Yep, my family. And the fact that we might possibly get a house. Maybe. Who knows? So that's pretty cool. This is an automated message. Oh, I have to fill out some paperwork. All right. Hey man, I literally just figured out that using UI button types .system gives you a default blue color on iPhone. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, and then we have Anyakashi. Kilo, how about getting remote jobs? It seems it's hard getting iOS remote jobs. I believe the best way to know more is to keep solving real problems, and working remotely can give you that opportunity. Well, remote jobs are okay, so you have to think about it like this. Like most of the time when you get hired at like a real company, in a real company I mean like somebody that's going to pay you 40 hours a week and get you benefits. And you know you could go to the dentist, and you could go to the doctor when you're sick, and all these beautiful things. The only way that you're going to be able to work remote for one of those companies is probably if you spend like a year or two working on site, and then if they really like you, you might be able to work something out to leave. Now, if you want to just jump straight into working remote, then you're probably going to have to do contracting, in which case contracting is nothing but remote for the most part, from my understanding. I wouldn't expect a contractor to come in somewhere. I mean, I'm technically a contractor working at a startup, but I'm supposed to be technically on the team and things like that. But yeah, you would have to pretty much pick up a lot of contracting jobs. So you'd have to go, you'd either have to be approached by people, you'd have to have your name out there, and people should know about you by your work, your previous works and things like that. You also have to, reach out to people you don't even know, and get jobs that way. And then you might have to be on, websites like Upwork and things like that to also find opportunities. So if you plan on working remote, and that's all you want to do, you pretty much have to do contracting. It's more likely that you're going to work remotely contracting than working for a company, and starting off remotely. Like I just don't see that happening very often. Storyboards or code, my dude? Daniel, storyboards. Definitely storyboards. Storyboards are way faster to get up and running. And yeah, if you do it right, there's no problem, realistically. But I am going to be switching over to code, to learning the basis of working with nothing but code, because what code can provide for you is a better foundation of understanding of how everything works. And it doesn't limit you to exploring different types of architectures, which, I mean, you could still implement those architectures doing storyboards, but at that point, when you're doing different architectures other than MVC, it starts getting to the point to where you're pretty much writing code for everything else. So why not just write the UI in code too? That's just the way that I look at it. But yeah, I still prefer storyboards. What programming language would you recommend for a beginner? Swift. Come on. Big Kilo in the cut. Okay, I like that. Oh man. Hi from India. How much experience on average required for a remote job? Swift/Objective-C. I mean, as long as you can do a project and you have something in your portfolio, you should be fine. Just depends on which job you're applying for. Like, I always say Upwork because that's where I was looking when I was considering, getting, contracting work and finding a different job. I was looking at Upwork.com. I'll put it in the. Let me put it up in there for y'all. Upwork.com. Nope, not that. Hold on. www.upwork, not upward.com. All right, go there, and they actually let you specify which jobs you're looking for, based off of experience. So you have to keep in mind, somebody that's going to hire a beginner, like entry level job, is probably going to be somebody with very little to no money, right? Like, nobody's going to want to pay you a normal developer salary or a normal developer hourly pay if you have little experience and you're going to struggle to do the job and it's going to take you forever, right? Because what it generally comes out to, your hourly goes up because your hourly rate essentially goes up because you're pretty quick at accomplishing things in a shorter amount of time. That's pretty much how it works. Like, you don't want to be really quick at doing something and then penalize yourself because you got it done in a reasonable amount of time. You want to get paid more, you want to get paid the same, if not more, for working quicker. So that's why hourly goes up. So just keep in mind, you need very minimal experience. As long as somebody's asking for something and you think you can do it, then you're good. You're ready to go. So entry level, basic, beginner knowledge is all you really need to get going. Daniel, at my current company, they offer me remote work like twice a week as their lead iOS developer. I honestly find it really hard to work at home. I just get nothing done. Well, I mean, I could understand that. That's why I don't work at home. I work at my parents' house here. So I could understand that. Depending on your pay, what you could do is you can go to a place like not Upwork. Go to a place like, what is it called? WeWork, the co-working space, right? You go to a co-working space and you pay like $500 a month, and you get like your own desk, and then you could just work there. So that's an option. I mean, if you have somebody that you can go work at their house, or just get away from all the distractions at home, then that's something that you want to explore. But if you think that you're just going to be more distracted, because it does take a certain level of discipline in order to, stay focused when nobody's looking over your shoulder, then maybe you should just keep working on site. I work purely programmatically and have done for and have done so for the past 2 years. It's honestly the best move I've made in programming. If you want to learn iOS programmatically, watch Brian Vunk. Yeah. So Brian goes over all his stuff programmatically. Jared Davidson has also recently switched over to working programmatically, so you can watch his stuff. But I'm going to continue teaching you guys in Storyboards, because if you can do it in Storyboards, then you should be skilled enough to reverse engineer whatever's happening in the storyboard and make it happen in code. Francisco, what's going on, Francisco? We've been talking a lot lately. Finally, I made your live stream. Greetings from Madrid. Thank you for inspiring and motivating with your videos. My pleasure, man. Carthage or Cocoa Pods? Yeah, I have not even worked with Carthage, so Cocoa Pods. And then if you do not need to engage in meetings, a public library is very good because of the environment. Yeah, that's also really true. I agree with that statement. I was actually working out of a library for a while. I was working out of a library for a while, but my problem was that the public library wasn't opening early enough for me to get to work. Like it would open at like 8 or 9, and I was trying to start working around like 6 because I needed that time to myself to like get my own things accomplished. So that's pretty much why I ended up switching over to a co-working space, which is what you guys saw on my devlogs. When I go over to do those meetings, it's at the co-working space that I used to work at. But then I just decided, because that was actually supposed to be the spot that I was going to be recording all my videos, but I didn't end up having a quiet area over there. Like people were bringing their kids on the weekend over to the co-working space, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm over here trying to record stuff, and you bringing your loud ass kids over here yelling and screaming. How does this make sense? I was paying $400 a month. I ain't trying to play that. Right? All right, so let me talk to you a little bit about my experience as being an employed developer. And if you guys have any more questions, and just keep them coming. It doesn't have to be related to being employed as a developer. But yeah, I think I'm going to be jumping off probably after I give this little story, if there's no more questions after that. But so I'm still at my first like real development job. Like I was employed before. Well, I was like working with some guy as a mobile consultant, because he ended up hiring a team out overseas, and he wanted me to come on for my ideas and for like me to review the code and things like that, and to review like their estimates on how long these things should take. So I was working for that. I was working for them for like a couple months. Stupid dog. Hey, shut up. Stupid dog. So I was working for them for a couple months, and then let's see what happened. And then I got hired at this job. So this is like my first real full-time development position. And it was definitely different. So when I got hired, the situation was I would work Monday through Friday, and I would go into the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I would work from home. So yeah, that was like different, because I went from I was primarily working at a restaurant full time, and then with that other thing on the side, the mobile consultant job on the side, and then I go into this, and then I get to work from home, which was awesome. But I also found that there was some distractions which kind of arose, but like after a while I was able to get in the zone, and I was able to really focus and not have to worry about distractions as much. I was able to focus. But The problem is that the office that I have to go to is out. It was out in El Segundo, which is by LAX, and it was like a 2 hour drive for me. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was making a 2 hour drive. Well, now fast forward like 2 years later, almost 2 years later now. Um, my schedule has changed a little bit. Now I work Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I still go out on. I still go. I do my commute, but now we moved to Santa Monica office. Hold on, guys. Stupid dog. Now we go. Now I go out to the Santa Monica office, which is still another 2 hours. If not, it's actually longer. It's like a two. It's a 2 hour and 15 minute to 2.5 hour commute. I take the train now. I don't have to drive, luckily. But yeah, it's a long commute. Anyway, next month I'm actually gonna be transitioning to only having to do my commute twice every other week and then once every other week. So it'll be, Tuesday and Thursday, and then it'll just be Tuesday, and then it'll be Tuesday and Thursday again. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. And yeah, it was just it's a better transition because now I have the Wednesdays off. I can do the live stream for you guys. I do my devlogs today, and that's when I do my recording. And then I also am able to do my contracting work as well as get some of these, do some of the research that's needed to record some of these videos for you guys. Because like I said, like I've always said, I don't know everything that you guys ask me to do. I just have to go out, research it, and then figure out how to do it. And then I do it. So, and then I record it. So, yeah. But the problem is that the house that I'm getting is further east, right? So, or the house that I'm looking to get is further east. Hopefully I get it. If not that house, then I'll still be moving out to that area before May. I know that much. I'm gonna be moving before May. I know that much. And my commute is now gonna be like 3 hours and like 15 minutes. 3 hours and 15 minutes or 3 hours and 30 minutes. Something ridiculous. It's gonna be like a 3 hour commute. And yeah, you just gotta suck it up. But yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do in order to get into this industry, because it's a great industry. You have to just, suck it up for a while and do what you gotta do. Now, luckily, I've been doing these YouTube videos. I've been able to connect with you guys, help out a lot of you guys, and yeah, that's awesome. The problem is that I've been doing everything for free, right? And you guys are still going to get all the same content that I'm giving you for free for as long as I can foresee. But I'm also working on putting together that platform that I've been talking about for months now, and just been so busy, especially with the house. I haven't even been able to even touch my own project. But yeah, once I get the house, once I have my own work location, I won't have to do that drive from my place over to my parents' house, which it's only like a 20-minute drive, but that's 20 minutes that I could be, doing something productive. Also, I'll have all my recording stuff set up. Like every time I come over to my parents' house, all my stuff is in my bag. I have to take out all my stuff, get it all connected, and do all these different things. And that's also why I want to get a house, is because I want to have my own area that has everything all pre-set up. I could just come out, plug in, and then just start working, start recording, do whatever. So as soon as I get a house, everything's going to come together. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome. I'm so excited. So, yeah. But yeah, back to my point of working, as a developer, it was definitely a huge transition, because you spend all your time in front of the computer. And I went from like a very active lifestyle of like walking like 10 miles, like 5 to 10 miles every night, because you have to run around the restaurant so much, to essentially moving less than half a mile a day. It's pretty bad. And yeah, I ended up gaining like 30 to 40 pounds. And Yeah, it's a completely different lifestyle. And I remember that my first day on, like, when I was hired, it was my job was to review the code, and then they asked me to fix a problem with compressing video, which is not like a simple thing to do. Well, it's not like an intuitive thing to do. Luckily, Swift makes it simple. But I had to compress a video so that it could be uploaded easily. But we later found out that wasn't the problem. It was actually a back end problem and all this other stuff. But yeah, you guys just have to be ready that when you come onto a job, they're gonna ask you to do something that you just don't know how to do, right? And that's how it's going to be with every job. Every job that you go out for is going to be something that you probably have never dealt with before, and you're just going to have to learn. And that's what being a developer. That's when you know that you're ready. Is when you're willing to take that risk of not knowing how to do something and be confident enough in yourself to say, "Hey, I know how to use Google. I know how to go on Stack Overflow. I know how to find an answer, and I know how to implement whatever that answer is into the situation, or make it as part of my solution to this problem." So that's all it really is. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so let's see. You guys had sent me some stuff. Here is even later, around 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. Not sure what I was talking about back then. All right, dogs are not stupid. They are all good boys. Nah, not when they're barking during the live stream. Keep up the streams, man. I've turned notifications on, and I'll 110% be there next time. You got me motivated. Peace out, Daniel. He's probably long gone. 2-hour drive? Hell nah. Why don't you bring him in? Nah. 3 hours is too much. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. You never know what's gonna happen in your future. So anything for this house. Like, I love this house. You guys have no idea, which is why I had I'm trying to do that fundraiser thing. But yeah. Have done any videos on push notifications and background refresh? If none, can you do some? So I have a course on Udemy that you can check out if you want it on notifications. Just type in Swift iOS notifications, and I think it's like the second one there. It probably has the Dev Slopes logo on it, and yeah, I go over everything you pretty much need to know about push notifications. We go over local notifications. I go over local notifications. I go over notifications through iCloud, through AWS, through Firebase, and setting up a Vapor server with push notifications. So yeah, that'll get you that should get you started on push notifications. Abraham, being employed developer, if you're considered a minority, do you deal with any prejudice, racist vibes? Well, no, not really. It's just like weird because I don't see a lot of people that look like me in my field, there's a lot of different races in it. I mean, it's not just like, white people. It's a lot of different races. It's just I don't really see a whole lot of black people as developers, or Mexicans. I don't think I've ever seen a Mexican developer. Maybe I did. I don't know. Would you please give some hints on how you are developing, and just a brief description of the whole Academy courses project? Honestly, I haven't been doing a whole lot. I have been emotionally and I've just been emotionally drained lately. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in my family right now that is it's causing stress for everybody. Like I'm not a very, like, when I get angry or when I get frustrated or when I get stressed out, I don't get like aggressive. I'm not an aggressive person. I get emotional. I start, tearing up and crying. I'm a crybaby. And there's been a couple of days in the past week that just make me want to cry. Like, I'm just, yeah, it's just, it's been a lot. So I haven't been able to work on my personal stuff very much lately. Just I have family stuff going on. I'm also trying to get the house, like I just said, and that's very stressful and draining. And I have contracting work. I have an actual class that I'm coming out with SoCal Tech Academy, a boot camp. I'm doing a boot camp. I just have like a lot of stuff going on right now, and I just have not been able to progress. And then I also met somebody at a meetup, and his designing skills were amazing, and made me feel really bad about my project. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board, make everything look pretty, rethink my entire course and my website and my platform. And then, it's still a couple months from being even close to done. So I'm not even close to being done. But I'm gonna definitely work on it. Once, like I said, once I have a house, everything's going to change. Like, you guys are going to be getting more consistent content. Like, I've already been committed to trying to get these videos out every day for you. A video a day from Kilo Loco, like that. I've been working on that. But once I have a house, it's like overdrive time, because then it's just going to be I'm going to just have so much more time to myself. I'm going to have my own little space. I'm going to be forced to make these things happen because of financial reasons. So it's going to be awesome. All right. So he said, all right, have got office tomorrow. Later, man. Abdil says, I understand the feeling. I found your channel after my boss bought someone else's app and asked me to work on it. I am a C# web developer, so I was worried about working on it. Thanks for the help. Well, I was glad that I could help. That was it's kind of weird that I was able to help when you're learning C# stuff. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Glad I could help. And you're Mexican. Hell yeah, that's what's up. And then Francisco says, when starting a personal project and need a back end, would you recommend starting with a known BaaS like Firebase with its free tier, or AWS, Azure? Not sure if there are good providers for Vapor. So I haven't. One, I hate AWS. I hate AWS with a passion because of their documentation. By far the worst. I don't trust Microsoft with anything at all. So I would say no to Azure. And then Firebase. Firebase has some of the best documentation you're probably going to come across as a developer. So there's that. It's ran by Google, and we know Google ain't going nowhere anytime soon. And it looks like they're constantly working towards improving Firebase. So yeah, if you wanted to go with one of those, I would probably go with Firebase, unless you have the time and patience to learn AWS, in which case, probably half of the world's technology stuff probably runs on AWS because it's such a powerful system. So yeah, I would say AWS if you have the time to learn it, if you can figure out how to learn it, because it's probably way more powerful than Firebase. But I just prefer Firebase because it's that. But above all, I would rather write my own backend, and I would use Vapor. Heroku works good with Vapor in my experience. Heroku works well with some things, but there are some limitations. Oh, also Vapor, if you work with the Vapor Cloud, which is their back end, they actually sit their stuff on top of AWS, so you don't have to do all that crazy implementation. They do it for you. Heroku, it does have some drawbacks. I forgot what some of the drawbacks were, but if you were trying to do like a more serious project, it's I forgot what they were, but you don't want like something that a lot of people are going to be using to be running on Heroku. Heroku is good for like small apps. All right, guys. So we've been in here about 40 minutes. I think I'm going to take off unless you guys have any other questions. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up the devlog today. Like I said, today's the devlog, and I want to make sure that I'm able to finish that up. Gonna be talking about the differences between no, between a junior developer and a senior developer. So be on the lookout for that. It should be dropping on Friday. And then I also am going to be doing another Vapor video that I need to have released for you guys tomorrow. So I need to record that today. And yeah. All right, guys. I hope everything gets better in your family. It is hard when your loved ones are having a hard time and we somehow feel what they feel. Yeah. Thank you again for everything. Everything's appreciated. Yeah, my pleasure. Have a great thing. Thank you, Ozo, and thank you, Francisco. All right, guys. Well, have a good rest of the day. And make sure you keep coding passionately and follow me at all of these places right here if you aren't already doing that. So, yeah. All right. Later, guys. Later, alligator. Boom.